Today's video is about the Ficus bengalensis. It's one of the famous tree of India, and because it's so huge, and if you see it once you'll never forget it. All these aerial roots coming down, and the biggest ones are over few acres wide, and they last for thousands of years. Anyway, I'll go out through some of the medicinal properties of this Ficus bengalensis. The aerial roots are very much useful in Ayurvedic medicine, and these aerial roots, they are used in persistent vomiting, and then abnormal mucus discharge, and from the vagina, abnormal mucus discharge from the vagina, and softening of bones due to vitamin D deficiency. This is how the traditional Ayurvedic doctors and all, they use it in those preparations, these aerial roots. Then second, actually the whole tree is useful, entire plant, and whole tree as a whole is astringent, acrid and sweet tasting, and it's cooling to the body, relieves pain, purifying, and anti-inflammatory, and anti-inflammatory, and it's good for the eyes, and it stops bleeding, prevents arthritis, reduces nausea and vomiting. That's the general characteristic of the whole tree. And then within the tree, these aerial roots are used for persistent vomiting, abnormal mucus discharge from the vagina, softening of bones due to vitamin D shortage, these three things. And the bark also is very useful. Being a huge tree, it's quite easy to take out small sections of the bark and without killing the tree. So that is the bark of the tree. And bark is used in burning sensation, whole body is inflamed, and then when the lungs and all get heated up, and people start spitting blood because of some infection and all, they use decoctions of this banyan. Then hemorrhages, diarrhea, dysentery, diabetes, and bladder control problem, that is involuntary discharge of urine. For that also they use this in the traditional medicine. And skin diseases, ulcers, and sexually transmitted diseases, for all these in the traditional usage, they go for this bark. And then the leaves also are useful. Leaves are good for ulcers, leprosy, allergies of skin, burning sensation, and this persistent abscess and wounds. That's the leaf. It's a kind of a quite leathery type of leaf, and underneath it has very, very fine hair, and you can feel some fuzz there. And leaves are quite large, and they make excellent mulch in the garden. The dried leaves, if you gather them and use them for vegetable growing and all, you will get fantastic vegetables. Then after the leaves, the fruits are refrigerant, that is, they cool your system, and then it's a tonic. Fruits are nutritious and cooling and anti-inflammatory fruits, and useful in high pitta and body heat and high inflammation. Though I never saw anyone eating it, probably in a powder form it has good applications and possibilities. Then the latex, that is when you break off the leaves, give some gum, that latex. So this latex also has very good uses. It's useful for painful nerve related problems and nerve functioning. This latex is reputed to improve nerve functioning and rheumatism, back pain, bruises, nose inflammation, gum bleeding, gum inflammation, teeth disease. So all kind of things come in Ayurveda. This gum bleeding and all is considered to be high pitta. So this one, since it's a anti-pitta tree, probably just sitting under the tree for half an hour will cool your mind and body. Because it's also recommended, all the great saints of India, they all did their meditation and all under these trees only. So apart from gum bleeding, gum inflammation, teeth disease, hemorrhoids and cracks in the feet. So it's a fantastic tree with numerous properties, lives forever, and its seeds, it has thousands and millions of seeds every year. Such a large tree. This tree is about, my guess is maybe at least a few hundred years old. These aerial roots have spread out quite far and wide, and it provides a lot of fruit for these monkeys and birds, bats, squirrels, and the civet cats, and all kind of forest creatures are eating these fruits. I've seen huge flocks of thousands of birds land up and noisily and greedily eat up the fruits. And the fruiting period is quite long, so extended fruiting period. So it provides a long 1 month of nutrition for these animals in the season. To behold also, it is something astonishing. The whole size and the ambience that it creates, and it is almost it's a wonder of the natural world. All these aerial roots hanging, so many medicinal plants, and the innumerable life forms that it supports for hundreds and hundreds of years. So our ancients, they designated this as one of the sacred tree that you should never cut. And you can find them in all kind of places, in temple properties, and of course forests it is there in plenty. The timber value is not much, so people don't really go and destroy it. So that's a bit about this banyan tree.